everybody, it's Camille Martin with Love to Lose, where I teach you how to love your life and lose the weight. In today's video, I want to talk about habit change and specifically why we find it so hard to change our habits. So what we do wrong most of all is that we don't just try to gradually change one habit, which is really the only way to change a habit, but we try to do all of our health habits all at the same time, and we try to do it with willpower. We force ourselves to change literally everything that we're doing all at once. So for example, I'm gonna get up every morning, I'm gonna work out for an hour, and I'm gonna drink a gallon of water a day, and I'm gonna eliminate all carbs, and I'm gonna cook dinner. You get the picture. So what happens when we try to do it this way, when we do all or nothing, and we use willpower to get it done? We fail. Willpower runs out, it does not work, it creates resistance, and you end up giving up and failing and feeling like a failure, which is what is so awful about the whole thing. And believe me, I know exactly what this is like because I have done this many times myself. So ultimately, when all of this happens and you fail massively, you start asking yourself a question, and that horrible question is, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just stick to anything? Well, I have great news for you. There's nothing wrong with you. What's wrong is your approach. And in today's video, I'm going to give you two really cool habit hacks that are super easy to implement, and they make changing your habits so much easier than if you try to do it with willpower alone. And once you put them into place, it's great because then you never have to hear that horrible question, what is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you, so make sure to pay close attention. I'm going to tell you exactly how they work and exactly how to put them into practice. So before we get to the hacks, we have to lay the foundation to put them into practice so that they actually work. How do you do this? You got to start asking yourself a different question. So when you're asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Your brain is wired to give you an answer. So when you ask yourself a loaded question like that, your brain's going to explain to you exactly what is wrong with you. You're lazy, you're disgusting, you're fat, you're disorganized, you have no willpower, you just can't stick to anything. You get the picture. And I've heard this so many times, too many times to count. What you want to do really first is, instead of asking yourself, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with my approach? What is really going on here? Why am I having a hard time sticking to this habit? So I want to use myself as an example really quick. I love to cook. And for a while there, going through my divorce, I had lost all interest in cooking. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't even want to be in my kitchen, frankly. It always looked like a bomb went off. It was completely demoralizing. And I was asking myself, what is wrong with you? Why are you not cooking? Why can't you just get in there and make a healthy meal for yourself and for your kids? It was completely unlike me. So instead of asking myself, what is wrong with you? I started asking, what's really going on here? Why am I having a hard time sticking to this habit? And once I was able to pull back and look at things objectively, I realized, of course, I'd been through a traumatic life event, and it was keeping me from doing all of the normal things that I would usually do, like go to the store, prep food, keep my kitchen clean and make it look beautiful and be a space that I liked being in. So that is the first step. You got to ask yourself the right question. You've got to get to an objective question and not an accusatory question like there's something wrong with you. So what you want to do, pull it back, ask yourself, am I having a hard time engaging in this habit because of something that's going on in my life? Have you moved recently, or quit a job, or started a new job, or are your kids, have they left the house, or are your children in a new life stage and things are changing rapidly and you're just not noticing it? So that is step one. Pull back, look at things objectively, and ask yourself a different question. So step number two is the first habit hack, and that is to identify your limiting step. And what I mean by that is you've got to get to what the very smallest step is that's keeping you from engaging in the habit. So in my case, I was wondering, what's wrong with me? And then I pulled back and said, why am I having a hard time engaging in my cooking habit? And I realized that I was stressed out. Duh. So stress was causing me to not get in my kitchen and cook. But then I took it even one step further, and I realized that what made me want to cook was getting in my kitchen when it was clean. So, okay, that was sort of, it looked like the limiting step. But then I went even one layer deeper, and I thought, what is the defining moment when I actually get my kitchen clean versus when I want to run screaming from the kitchen? And I realized in a truly aha moment that if I keep my sink free of dirty dishes, that made me want to get in my kitchen, straighten up the rest of it, and then cook something. So my limiting step, as crazy as it sounds, was keeping my sink free of dirty dishes and clean. So that was my limiting step. And then that was like, I realized very quickly that I couldn't change my whole habit of cooking and all of a sudden just re-engaging, but I could keep my sink clean. So you have to identify the limiting step, and it's not necessarily what you think it is. Step number 3, and this is the second habit hack, it's called the keystone habit. And I learned this from a book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. It's an amazing book, and I highly recommend it. But a keystone habit is one that makes all of your other habits easy to engage in. So in other words, instead of trying to change 5 habits at once, if you pick a keystone habit that makes it easy to engage in all of those other habits, it's so much easier. So in my case, I identified my limiting step, and that became my keystone habit. So trying to cook, trying to prep food, and try to go to the grocery store 3 times a week, and then do all of these things, pick a menu. I was trying to figure out how to force myself to do all of these things. But when I identified my limiting step, that became my keystone habit. Keep your sink clean. Keep the dishes out of the sink in the dishwasher, keep it running, and then unload it. So that became my keystone habit. And that was so easy to stick to. So once I started keeping every single night, keeping the dishes out of the sink, loading them in the dishwasher and starting it, I got to come downstairs every morning to a sink that was free of dishes. And even if my kids had come through the kitchen and had, left stuff all over the counter, it wasn't as stressful because I could easily load it into an empty sink. So crazily enough, keeping my sink clean, as I said a minute ago, was the key to me re-engaging in my cooking habit. When my kitchen was clean, when my sink was clean, and then my kitchen was easier to clean, I had a clean kitchen. It made me feel peaceful and relaxed to be in the kitchen. That way, flipping through a cookbook was more enjoyable, and then picking a recipe and getting excited about that made it easy to make the grocery list, and then to head up to the store and feel happy and positive about what I was doing, and then dinner is prepared. So you want to pick a keystone habit that makes all of your other habits easy to engage in, instead of trying to do everything separately and do it all or nothing and use willpower to get it done. So here's how to put it into practice. If you're having a hard time, say, keeping a consistent workout routine, asking yourself what is wrong with you is going to give you the answer that you're lazy. You're not lazy. Ask yourself what's really going on. Are you having a hard time getting motivated to exercise because you can't find anything that you need when it's time to go to the gym? Dig down really, really deep. It could be something as simple as keeping your workout clothes laid out the night before. It could be putting your car keys by the door so you don't have to go searching for them when it's time to get in the car. You want to identify your limiting step and take it from I don't feel motivated all the way down as far as you can go to the simplest, easiest thing that really is keeping you from engaging in that habit, because you can accomplish that. Once you identify that limiting step, that then becomes your keystone habit. So if you can't find your keys in the morning, put them where you can find them. Put a water bottle by the door, things like that. And when you have everything ready to go, you'll find yourself hopping in the car, getting to the gym, having your workout. And then guess what? From that keystone habit and engaging in a regular workout routine, that also is a keystone habit that has a ripple effect that makes it easier for you to do other things in your life. So sit down, really ask yourself a different question, get an answer that, ask a question that's designed to get an answer that has nothing to do with you and who you are as a person. You want to be really objective. What exactly is keeping me from engaging in this habit? Then identify the limiting step, And then select your keystone habit and engage in that. You know, we try to have it so that like we're climbing Mount Everest. We try to do everything. We're going to get up, we're going to do all these things. It really is like climbing Mount Everest, and it's demoralizing. It's stressful. It's too much. But what you can do is take one baby step up that mountain every single day. And then that way, when you really start sticking to your habits, it builds confidence, and that confidence will help you keep consistently taking action toward achieving your health goals. So remember, make a commitment to take that one small step every single day, and eventually you will change your habits. I hope this video was helpful, and if you liked it, make sure to like the video. And please head over to my website at CamilleMartinRD.com. Make sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter so you can get more tips, inspiration, and motivation just like this on your weight loss journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you here next time on Love to Lose.